So our two presenters are Russ Westergaard and Skylar Walker. Russ is a proud husband and dad of 3 who is deeply devoted to protecting children. He's an admitted startup junkie with a love for early stage companies. A seasoned entrepreneur, Russ has founded several companies and has over 15 years of experience in business management, sales, and marketing. He's mentored dozens of entrepreneurs and is active in the community as an advisor for a local entrepreneurial group, where he oversees the mentoring program. Russ travels the nation to provide technical solutions for people everywhere to take back the internet, engage at the human level, and protect families. Skylar Walker is a father and a technology entrepreneur who is passionate about using technology to help fight the problems associated with pornography and other screen addictions. He comes from a background of system administration and software development with a great love for startups. He founded Router Limits as a direct response to the challenges of digital parenting. He saw that the kids were winning the battle because they were so tech savvy and so smart. Unfortunately, the smarts still need the wisdom that parents can provide, and parents need the tools to apply that wisdom. Tools that provide solutions that operate in the same way as problems: fast, intelligent, and high tech. Router Limits is dedicated to helping parents manage their home, wireless networks, and web-enabled devices, used in the simplest and most effective way possible. So we'd like to welcome Wes and Skylar.
Thanks, Julie. You can stay up here if you want. Talk with us. Thank you all for coming out and being with us today. So Russ and I, we are very enthusiastic about this topic. We are tech entrepreneurs. We did start a company around this, but I swear this will not be a sales pitch to you. We're dedicated to helping people, and we're big fans of everybody in the space, all the tools out there, because pornography is such a serious problem that that's not something that we need to compete on. We're pretty serious about that with our product. So we're actually going to show you a bunch of tools today. This is going to be a really interactive session, we hope. And we want you to know that first and foremost, we're fathers. My kids are the ones over here that are giving a hard time to mom. And Russ's, I saw Russ's, they're over here. Mom's in the hall with the baby.
All the screaming in the corner over here.
So apologize for that. But what we've kind of put together is some topics that we've heard frequently from our customers and our users, questions we've heard as we've been in this space. Russ and I kind of got thrown in feet first into this, and over the years we've learned a lot, and we've heard a lot of your questions and your concerns. So hopefully we can share some things with you today that you'll find useful.
Yeah, we get all the time, as we went about building what we were trying to build, we had people coming to us saying, well, how this and how that, and there were a lot of things we didn't know about, so we ended up having to do all the research, and we just figured it'd be a good chance to kind of share what we've learned. If you've got questions along the way, please don't hesitate. You know, we're hoping that the things we talk about today can be stuff that you can take and go and immediately, institute at home. So, and hopefully you'll bear with us too, because by nature of the topic, right, where we're covering like a bunch of kind of technical, do this, do that, do this, really hard to make it entertaining. So
we've tried to do our best. So.
Yeah.
We're not the funniest, but we'll try.
Every now and then, if you throw in a token laugh or some random applause, that would be nice.
Yeah. And jokes for the audience are welcome. Just raise your hand, jump up, tell us a joke. Okay, so we're going to start out with something that might give you a little bit of anxiety here. Let's watch this.
Three. In a home just like yours, a disaster is about to strike.
How's that make you? Am I on here? Gus,
I think I'm on.
We're done with the video, so you can turn off the mics. Thank you. How does that make you guys feel watching that? Go ahead and shout it out. Don't be shy.
Crazy.
Crazy? Anxious? Yucky? Concerned?
Deeply concerned? Okay, good.
You would never let these guys come into your home and do this, right? Obviously, this is some disaster cleanup company, and they're proving a point, but you'd never let them come in and do this to your home, right?
Would you ever do it to your own home?
Your kids might if you give them a garden hose. So, Russ and I like to refer to this as excellent Wi-Fi coverage. And I'm going to tell you why, because you let these guys come into your home, and I'm not naming any particular company here, it just happens to be a photo of Comcast truck. So, you let these guys come into your home, and we pride ourselves on getting excellent Wi-Fi coverage. To the deepest, darkest corner of that room in the basement, you're going to make sure that thing has excellent coverage.
And we brag to all our friends about it, right?
That's right.
I now have 150 megabits per second.
Still that slow, huh? So what you don't realize is that if you've got an internet connection and you're dumping Wi-Fi out into your home, that your home is already saturated. And here's something I want to point out to you. When you think about your home, you think, oh, we have like a laptop, and we have a tablet, and we've got a cell phone. But you got to think beyond that too. In today's world, you also have gaming consoles, smart TVs, smart watches, smart fridges, smart toasters, smart beds, smart cars, right? All of this stuff is connecting to your Wi-Fi, okay? Now I want you to think about what the picture I'm trying to paint here for you is. You have a fire hose of information, good and bad, clean and filthy, hooked up to your home if you have an internet connection.
And you're paying for it.
And you're paying for that. And each device in your home is a spigot to allow all of that to come through, good and bad. Now, I know you guys are like, well, that's why I'm here, right? Get to the point. Let's get to it. So we'll keep moving. But what I do want to tell you is that Russ and I, we are tech entrepreneurs. So we're not going to tell you, go home and unplug all your devices. Although that is the only guaranteed way to make sure everything's disconnected. If you want to do that, here's Rocky Mountain's phone number. The doors are over here. We're not offended. It's a great way to go, but
way cheaper.
Yeah, save some money. If you've ever added up your internet bills, then you know what I'm talking about.
So, similar to the flood, right? You start out with a puzzle. You look at the box, shake it, think I can do this, right? And because we all did the 10-piece puzzle when we were kids, right? Then you pour it out in the middle of the table and you look at it. I thought, this can't be a lot different. It's only 5,000 pieces, right? And you get this. And there's no rhyme or reason, but you have a box, you have a picture. That's what we're trying to build. But you've got all these pieces. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit. First, you need to organize them. You need to, get the brights together and the darks together and get, kind of get everything organized so that you can make a decent run at it. Find the corners first, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, this is intimidating to me. You dump out that box, there's things everywhere.
I know. When we're done, we're going to do a puzzle in the back, so everybody knows.
It's okay if you leave early.
So, as we sort it, right, and you get those edges in place, and it seems to be a little less daunting, right? You know what I'm talking about. Has anybody ever done that huge puzzle, those 5,000 piece puzzles? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. They take days, right? And those first few days, you think there's no way this is happening. And then the corners start to build in, and it starts to, right? And then you find a face. You find a jaw line from somebody on the picture, right? And you go, holy cow, think we're making progress. And then you find the neck. That's like the part of the jawline, and somebody 3 days later, they go, no, that's actually the knee, right? So that's what we're doing here, and that's a lot how it feels when you know, we try to come together and we try to come up with options. So we're going to take these a puzzle piece at a time. We're going to dive in a little bit. We're going to show you specifics on where do you click, where do you turn it off, where do you, right? How does it toggle, etc. We're going to talk about pros and cons, etc.
So Russ, where do we start?
So you got to kick it off by taking inventory, right? You have a tech audit. Let me ask you, by show of hands, how many devices do we have in our homes? Okay, so who has 5 connected devices? Okay, yep, almost everybody, pretty good. Who has 10 connected devices, would you say? Okay, was that more hands? That was weird. Who has 15 connected devices? Yeah. and this is not, I shouldn't probably keep going, it's a matter of public shaming. I think most of us are guilty of it, right? Now let me ask you. Computers, tablets, phones, right? And like Skylar talked about, connected toasters. That's a thing, actually. Go Google it. Your set-top streaming boxes, right? Every TV now, if you go and buy a TV, you almost can't get it unconnected unless you're gonna buy it, you know, aftermarket. You know, talk to a neighbor that accidentally bought it a few days before Black Friday or whatever. They thought they had a deal and now they've got a really old one, you know? So those things, right? Gaming consoles. Here's an important thing. What's not on the list? Can anybody see what's not on this list that's connected in your home? iPod. Yep, okay, iPod. And I want to draw specific attention to old iPods, right? So first, we take this inventory, and we've got to get all those devices. The old Palm Pilots, you guys remember those? Yeah, that's a Utah product. You got to pull this stuff out, you got to put it in the middle of the table, right? Old cell phones that aren't on your, right, that you don't even use anymore.
You don't have to worry about those, right?
Oh, I don't know. I would. Yeah, grab all that stuff, put it in the middle of the table, right? As a family.
That's kind of important. So people don't realize, oh yeah, that old phone that I have shoved in the drawer somewhere, it doesn't have a cellular plan. It can still be used to access the Wi-Fi.
Absolutely.
It can still be on the internet.
So, do that first, right? Do it like an Easter egg hunt. And send everybody out and scour old boxes, etc. Because
next step. So first, we're presenting this concept to you guys. I hope you grasp this. So this is what we call a tech audit. This is how we recommend that you get started, right? You have the puzzle, and this is the first piece. This is finding the edge. This is however your strategy is to solve puzzles. We're relating this to that. See how I just related that to you? I don't care how you put together the puzzles, but this is what we're recommending. So first find all these devices, okay? And you gotta think hard. That's what Russ is trying to get to here is, you gotta think about e-readers, old devices without a service plan. These are all still spigots in your home, okay? You can use these to access the Wi-Fi. If it can access the internet and it has a web browser, it's a spigot that can let in pornography and everything else, okay? Next step, consider the access. This can be just as hard as the first step, if not harder. How does the device connect? Is it Wi-Fi? Is it cellular data? Where does it connect? Home, school, work, grandma's house, friends' houses? How many of you have kids come to your house and they know your Wi-Fi password? Right? Who gives it to them? Kids do, right? The kids are all sharing this. So if kids are coming to your house and they know your Wi-Fi password, you can bet your kids are going to other people's houses and know their Wi-Fi password, right? Okay. So everything that connects, we need to then do an audit on how does it connect and where does it connect. Now I want to draw two points to you guys. The first one is Comcast Xfinity. How many of you guys know about Xfinity hotspots? How many of you know that if you have Xfinity at your home, it is broadcasting a hotspot from your home?
To everybody else.
By default. By default, that is turned on, and anybody in your neighborhood can access the internet through your modem at your home via the Xfinity hotspot feature.
For those that don't know this, right? When you got Xfinity and you see two, somehow mysteriously there are two signals you always have perfect coverage on, they're both coming from your house.
If your kids know your Xfinity password, which most kids turn out surprisingly do, then they can be connected to the neighbor's Xfinity hotspots, even when you unplug your router and throw it away, okay? There's another one I want to draw your attention to in Utah. We hear this a lot. How many of you know that the LDS chapels around Utah, everywhere, somewhere around every corner, that they have a Wi-Fi access point? How many of you know the password? How many of your kids know the password, right? Okay, this is becoming a serious problem that we're hearing from our users, especially in Utah. Well, I send my kids to bed and I turn off, all of the access or whatever, but then it turns out they're just connecting through the meeting house, right? These meeting houses, the Wi-Fi is on 24/7, 7 days a week, bro. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week.
They're starting to block sites.
And they're starting to block sites, and they're doing good, right? I'm not trying to say anything about it. I just want you to realize that there are access points from your own home that you may not even know about. So this is part of the audit, okay?
All right, so how many of you have a fire drill plan for your home? How many of you have walked through it, right, with the family? Where to meet, right? Where are we going to go outside? Everybody did it when we were kids in the school. We used to do our fallout shelter, get under the desk. That's going to somehow protect us from nuclear bombs or something. If you don't have a plan, when it comes time, does it make any sense, right? We're going to run around trying to make up for the fact that we didn't have a plan. There's a fire. It's engulfed the home. Now what do we do? That's not the time to talk about it, right? So, and I love the fact that we see a lot of rear ends in the seats in here, because this is the planning part. This is wherever we're at, we're doing something about it before the flame gets bigger, right? So, on top of that, the New Year's resolution, we suggest, right? Go through, you do your formulation, you're going to bring everybody together and discuss it, where there's some onboarding, right? Teenagers might feel differently about it than parents, right? Etc. You go through that, you're going to follow up, and we suggest once a year, the end of the year, you sit down and you say, hey, how did we do, right? You put your plan together, because it's one of those things that changes. That chances are there's a whole bunch of new devices in the home that are less than a week old at New Year's. Right? That's the time, sit down, how did we do from last year, and what are we going to do moving forward?
Good. So you guys are like, okay, stop talking, just give me some solutions, right? So here we go. Google Safe Search. Have you heard of this? Google Safe Search. Very, very cool tool, one of my favorites. Google has built in a search filter. How many of you have searched for images on Google? Leave your hand up if you've ever come across something nasty, even by accident. Yeah. That's about all of you, okay? Don't you wish that you could hide that stuff? Google Safe Search, okay? It's not perfect, but it is really good. So I'm going to show you how you can turn it on. When you're on Google, this looks familiar, right? Look in and sorry, you can't see it because of the little VGA 1 thing. Shoot.
It's down there. It's down the bottom right.
Trust me that behind there is a button, and that button says Settings, okay? So bottom right corner, you're going to click Settings. It's going to pop up a menu, and you're going to click Search Settings. Right there at the very top, Safe Search Filters. You can turn that on. And you'll notice that right next to it, there's a little Lock Safe Search On link, okay? Here's the thing about Safe Search. It is so cool. It is so cool. It's built by Google, so you really can't beat, nobody builds it better than Google, right? The people who provide the product also provide filtering, and they're doing all kinds of advanced stuff, right? Image detection, based on all kinds of aspects of the image. They can tell what they are. They're
Shapes and skin tones.
when you're,
It's really
when you're in
amazing.
the images, and when you're in the normal web search, it's hiding links to inappropriate sites. It's really good. The bad part is it's too easy to turn off. But wait a minute, Skylar. You just said lock safe search on, right there, the little link, right? Yeah, that's okay. I love the feature. I hate that part of it because you can lock it on, but if you know how to clear your cookies on your computer, it's not on anymore, right? It's not really locked on. So I don't give them credit for that. And by the way, if you just use a different browser or whatever, it's just not. It doesn't stay on. But it is a really great tool. If you're trying to protect yourself, I run with Safe Search on all the time. Yeah, please. Good question. See this?
Does that work on all browsers, Bing, Firefox, all of them?
Does that work on all the browsers? Yes, it does. This is for Google only, though. That's the downside too, right? So this is only Google Safe Search, but a lot of the other products do have Safe Search abilities. Bing does as well. You can go in and turn it on. We just decided to show Google because it's the simplest. Yes, please. Okay, do you have to do it on each login? That's the thing. The lock and turning it on, it will remember it on that computer, but it's for that profile, it's that user. So every user on the computer, yes, you need to enable it. But it doesn't stick. That's kind of the problem. Is if you turn it on, it's great, but if somebody wants to turn it off, they can. Just be aware of that. There's some solutions that we can mention later. Yeah? It is not enabled by default. I believe it used to be by Google, and they changed their policy. Any other questions about this one? Cool. Yeah. Smartphones, yes, they have it as well. The screen's a little bit different, and I think they're going to share out these screens so you guys can go through these later. But it's in a little different spot, but yes, it's on all devices, all platforms. It's from Google, it's themselves.
We had another one over here.
Yeah.
Other color.
Is there another question?
You go.
Hello? Okay.
Is this thing on? Yeah.
Well, by the way, I want to throw out a special mention to Kittle. If you guys haven't heard of this yet, it's awesome.
Brand new.
Brand new. Google just announced it. Search engine for kids. You can get on there and try it out yourself. You can go in there and type, porn or naked or whatever, and it will not let you search that.
It's actually not by Google. It's a different site that uses Google Safe Search.
You'll see.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I was tricked by their marketing.
See, that's why we're here, right?
Thank you very much.
We're in this together.
Okay, so that is not a
awesome.
Google product, but it's very cool.
But it uses Google.
And it uses Google. I was under a different impression, so thank you.
Question
Yes, please.
about Kittle. Is it one that how should I word this? If you go onto Kittle.com and search, is it the same as just switching from Google to Bing to Kittle?
So I think I follow your question. Is it just a different, is it the same type of
browser.
results, but just a different thing? So they curate the first results are actually supposedly hand-picked. And then after that, they have some more safe ones that they've deemed are family safe. The real key is that it doesn't let you search for things that don't have that have an inappropriate word in them.
Right.
It doesn't tell you what they are, but if you can get on there, you can try it out. I tried searching several things and it just wouldn't even let me.
Yeah, there's different opinions on this, right? But you can go and kittle, penis or vagina or whatever, and it just comes up with a blank, right? It doesn't give you any results.
So the other thing to note is that it's not Kittle.com. I don't know what that is. You'll have to Google. I think it's Kittle.org. I didn't actually look it up. So don't go to Kittle.com. I don't know what that is. Yeah, we got another question. No? Kittle.co, thank you. Kittle.co.
And these are obviously kind of first line of defense things, right? So like Sky mentioned, none of them are perfect, but if you can get these and start building that puzzle, right? That's what really is going to make some headway. So YouTube restricted mode, very similar. Doesn't get super technical here. Again, we're looking for the link probably in the bottom right of the browser.
I can't see it.
No, it's not,
I can't see it.
you're going to have to use faith.
Believe me, it's there.
Down there.
You just have to trust.
That's right. Click on it. You're going to look, again, you're going to look for the parental, you're either going to look for, settings, parental control, restricted mode, right? Click on it, and it's going to always give you two options, on or off. My suggestion is turn it on. All right. Cool thing is, again, since these guys are the ones that built the whole thing, it works really well if you turn it on. It works better than anything else you're probably going to find that works with that particular application. But because they're really easy to turn on, they're also really easy to turn off, right? How many people have been watching cat videos with the family? You're laughing, you're laughing, you're laughing, the cat video ends, boom, right? How many? Show of hands. Again, you're not looking for it, just funny cat videos.
So all these people just admitted to watching cat videos.
That's right, I like it. We have a lot of cat people in Utah. And then we've got Catwoman lingerie. Word cat's in there, right? Somehow. So, go, turn it off. Happens all the time. Sometimes, and I would say this actually spans across not just YouTube, you're going to see this all the time. Turn it on, you are going to miss a little bit of the stuff that, it may not make any sense why they blocked that thing, but I think most of us can agree it's much better to err on that side than, well, it's not functional for our family, so we're not filtering anything, right?
All right, I'm gonna blow your mind here, maybe. I hope not. How many of you have Netflix? I love the interactivity here, right? That's not a word I know, right? So, how many of you know that there is pornography on Netflix? Fewer hands.
Not just R-rated movies, actually like pornography
There's
section.
actually pornography on Netflix. We get asked all the time, hey, do you guys filter Netflix? What do you do for Netflix? Did you know Netflix has built-in parental controls? I'm seeing some nods. Good, very good. Once again, it's super easy, okay? You go to your Netflix, top right. These are spigots, okay? You got to think about these, because if you have a kid who's got access to Netflix in his room, he's watching movies, he can come across it, he can search it out, right? Curiosity strikes, but it is there and it can be found. It's not, right on the front page all the time, but yeah. Yeah. Does YouTube screen inappropriate language? So YouTube, they can't actually, the way computer algorithms work, and we don't need to get into all the boring tech details, Skylar, but it's very difficult to analyze all of the video, right? So picking out all the individual words. So you have to think, what can a computer read? Well, it could read closed captioning. So if a video has a lot of vulgarity, it's definitely gonna pick it up. They trigger a lot off comments, which is a lot of the time why it'll block videos that it shouldn't, because with really good videos come really negative, comments. I hear the teenagers, they call them like haters. So there's going to be a lot of those. Thank you. It's funny to somebody. Yeah. Well, hold on. This one first. Yes, and great point. Thank you. And when you turn on YouTube safety mode,
what did she say?
She was just bringing up this point I'm going to share with you. If you'll just give me a chance.
Come on, Skylar.
Just give me a chance. When you turn on YouTube safety mode, that's absolutely correct. It hides the comments. Because some of those comments are the most nasty, and I know we're not talking about bullying, but all of that stuff is hidden when you turn on the YouTube.
Yeah, you can go watch a religious video and somebody's going to pop up and type some vulgarity in the comments.
The most famous one around here is BYU puts out a series called Studio C. And we have a lot of people complain that when they turn that on, it blocks Studio C. Apparently the comments are pretty bad. So YouTube takes the comments and tries to relate that to the video and thinks, oh, this must be a pretty vulgar video or something.
Yeah, not perfect.
Any other questions? Yes, please.
On that Netflix internet control, does it block covers?
Yes, yes. So when you enable this, let me show you how you enable it. You click up in the top right. She's asked if it blocks covers. Click up in the top right. Then you're going to click your account. Parental controls. If you've not done this, please, please, please do this. You click in there, you can set a pin. This is what's so cool. You can set a pin. These can't be changed without that pin, and you can't watch videos without the pin either. And then you can set a level here on that slider of what kind of ratings you want to allow. And it will hide those videos. So it's a little bit frustrating because you're like, I swear there was a video on here, and I'm going to explain that in a minute too, because you're not looking for certain types of videos, but and it's not there anymore. They just totally disappear. So yes, because the covers can be just as gross as the film themselves. Here's the pros and cons of this. First, it's highly accurate, right? Once again, built by Netflix. It requires a pin. It's enforced on all your devices. Do this on your computer, and every device on your account is now enabled and protected. Here's the downside. We did this at my mother-in-law's house. Hi, Colleen. And she was mad. And she was mad not because she was watching inappropriate videos, but she really likes those English romantic comedies.
Not rated.
Unrated, right? Not the kind of unrated that you're thinking, but they never hit the movie theater, they never got an MPAA rating, so they're unrated. And that can be just as innocent as, a horrible equivalent to a XXX film that also, never got released in theaters, so it has an unrated.
If it can warrant getting everybody together to sit down and rate it, then it's unrated.
So anyway, if you like that kind of stuff, that's the downside. Sometimes it blocks some of those. So I highly recommend it for kids, though. They usually don't like to watch those anyway. And I don't either. Sorry, the truth comes out. I've pretended for too long. But we want to tell you, too, another recommendation we have here. These are some friends of ours down in Provo. Why don't you tell them about it, Russ?
Yeah. Let's give these guys some serious love. This is not a paid endorsement.
This is not a paid endorsement.
This is not a paid endorsement. Yes. We love these guys. VidAngel. So, very similar to certain internet parental control devices that may or may not be presenting out in the hallway. This gives you...
That was a shameless plug.
It was. This gives you a very, very, very detailed way to filter movies. And this, now, you can decide, this is the hard part, right? It causes a lot of soul searching because you'll turn a category on, but then you need to go down through the category and you need to decide what things in that category you're going to turn off. You can say language, I'm okay with some language. You turn it on, and then you need to go down and pick which words you want to hear.
But you don't have to. You can take the recommended ones, but it can get that granular.
Right? You might say, I don't like the inappropriate content. I don't want nudity. Or you might say, I'm okay with some art nudity. And you turn it on, and then you go, okay, which body parts do I want to see?
Then you say, never mind, hide them all, please.
Yeah. Right? So it's really, really cool. You can watch really new movies. It's user curated content. So as far as like somebody's gone through and people ask them all the time, do you have somebody in the back room that's like taking one for the team, tagging each? No. It's a matter of user tags. They'll go and say, oh, here was a thing. I just saw this. I just heard that word, whatever.
What format does this work on? Downloaded, stream?
So great point. A couple of things. Number one, you can rent the movie straight through them. They tried for a while to kind of be to cover everything. They did this is super cool. They just announced this last week, they nailed the
Amazon Fire.
Right? So that's the first one where they've officially got the app up.
Actually, no, it's not. So you can stream this on Roku, Apple TV.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking from your smart TV, from your smart TV interface, right? And it's got the apps up. This is the first one that's like, boom, here it is, right? Not from there.
If you have a set-top streaming box, chances are they have an app for it. It's pretty cool. I recommend checking it out. Yes, please.
I just put an additional plug-in for it. We've been using it now for about, we've been using it for about 2 months, and it's wonderful. We can now watch movies. Now, we choose not to watch R-rated movies, even though we can filter them. But it allows you to get rid of all the language and everything. It's just, it makes watching
really
movies
cool.
fun.
Was that a paid endorsement?
No, it wasn't.
Unpaid endorsement right there. It's another one. Yes, please.
It caused me a little confusion to start with, but you have to own the video in order for them to filter it.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. To get around patent law and things, you actually buy the video from them. They stash it in some vault or something at their office.
Yeah, you own a physical copy of it that's at their office. They put it in a vault. Then they give you the digital link, and you use it, and then you can return it to them the next day.
I think they all cost $20,
refunds.
right? They all cost $20, and then you can sell it back for $19. So it costs $1 to stream a video. My wife and I love it. We watch it all the time. Okay, we'll take some more questions at the end. We'll keep going here, though. So Apple iOS, right? This is an important one. iPod, iPad, iPhone, iRack, whatever you have. You can set up your iOS parental controls. Pretty easy. You go to the settings, look on the left side. It says general. You have to do this on each device, okay? On the right side, look for restrictions. You click restrictions, and at the top, you say enable restrictions. That gives you a list of things you can allow. You can, totally block, the web browser. You can keep them from installing apps. Oh, that's a good idea, Skylar. I can keep them from installing apps. There are a lot of apps out there that are spigots to pornography. So, this allows your kids to ask you, you enter a PIN. I'm not offended you guys are leaving, thanks. No, I'm just kidding. And then you can control what they can do. Pros, it's easy to set up. It enforces device policies. It restricts apps and activities. It's built by Apple, right? The downside is you gotta realize it's not a web filter, okay? Even though you have it turned on, you can totally block access to the web, right? But you can't filter the web. Yes?
Discovered recently that while you can turn off the browser, right, through the parental controls, there are a lot of apps that have an internal browser, a lot, and you don't realize how many there are. Google Maps, okay? A lot of really,
Tame.
kind of apps have access. So don't think that if you're turning off the web browser, that means that your kid can't get access to the web through another app.
Great point. Just to reiterate, really summarize that for you. She's saying, realize that a lot of apps have a built-in browser. Google Maps, she mentioned. I know, like LastPass, if you use that, it's got a built-in browser. There's several of them that have built-in browsers, so be careful. You really should know what each app does, and a lot of apps are deceiving. If you read out there, there's calculator apps now that look like a calculator, but when you put in a certain key combination, it opens a vault of photos that are usually sexting related. Android parental controls.
So similar, right? Very similar to Apple. On the Android, on the Google Play Store, right? That's what it's called. Go to your Google Play Store. Again, look in one of the corners. Chances are you can pull up your little menu. You're going to go to settings. Go into your settings. You're going to get your parental controls. Turn it on. It's already off. Turn it on. Okay, give it a pin. And then the cool thing is, similar to your VidAngel, you can go down through and decide a rating, or far removed from how cool VidAngel is, but
non-paid endorsement.
Go down through and decide each one what you're cool with, right? And you can choose a PG-13 or a TV-14 rating or whatever on each thing. Pretty cool. So again, pros and cons.
Well, and a quick mention here to restricted profiles. So Android, we give them 3 stars maybe, because you can restrict the apps that are coming on, but you can't restrict a lot of activity. Unless you have an Android tablet, then it will allow you to create a restricted profile, but we're not going to run into that right now.
So your pros, right? So you can get pretty granular down into your app policies, control which apps right, can actually be installed, which one it won't let you. And then obviously restrict access to different apps and their activities. Your cons, same thing, is this does not create a web filter.
And it doesn't filter apps, that's the other important thing. When you're looking through there and you set a rating on a movie, it's only for Google Play.
That's right.
So if you have other apps, it's not doing anything for those, just to be aware.
Just another puzzle piece, you guys.
Just another puzzle piece, and a lot of what we're doing, you know, isn't gonna, it's not a full-on solution, right? Nothing beats conversations and family planning, right? There's always, no matter what tool, no matter what filter, there's always gonna be ways around it. Yeah?
So, if I heard you right, you're saying that Apple has a tendency to have better parental control than Android. Did I hear you say that?
I wouldn't even go that far. They're both limited. They do it in different ways. All of the Apple devices kind of allow you to do a device-wide policy, like, hey, you can't get onto on Safari. Android, they only let you do that on their tablets. You know, the phones don't have that. But there are some other little things. They're just not real intuitive. Yes, please.
Someone repeat it.
Samsung tablets?
Samsung tablets running Android. All right, here's a cool one, guys. I love sharing this one. Cellular data plans, right? Okay, we talk about what we can do at home, but my kids, they're on the loose, right? They're out there, they've got a data plan. You're paying for them to have that fire hose follow them around. What can you do, okay? This is the easiest one that you can do today. You can call your cellular provider and ask them what parental controls they have available. Every carrier has filtering for explicit material, and most of them are free. It doesn't cost you anything extra.
Call and ask. Call and ask,
and they'll turn it on. T-Mobile, it's called WebGuard. If you have T-Mobile, WebGuard, okay?
You can probably turn it on also from your back office where you
you can go into the website and turn them on as well, but you know, calling's the easiest thing to tell you. Verizon content filters. Sprint's kind of hidden, they call it content filtering as well. I can't vouch for this one or AT&T. AT&T was a little frustrating as I was trying to research it. It doesn't appear that they do content filtering, but there's a lot that points to maybe that it's included in the smart limits. Yes, please.
Yeah, we tried to get some parental controls on our kids' cell phones, like just disabling the internet. And every month it would roll over and it would flip back on.
Oh no.
So yeah, we've had a lot of problems with our AT&T.
Are you saying you have to call them once a month?
Yeah, once a month.
Yeah, it seems like all these people want you to call them monthly and show them cellular stuff.
And then they told us we could do it ourselves, but every time I don't know.
I'll be honest, I was the least impressed, not to bash on any company here, but with AT&T when I was researching out what their solutions were. She's saying sometimes she had them enabled and they seem to just turn off randomly. I have T-Mobile and I have this enabled on my phone and it's always on. One of the things I don't like about it is that it's often a wide blanket. I'll get to you in 1 second, It's often a wide blanket and it'll block things that I'm like, hey, that's weird. I like to read tech blogs, you know, and every once in a while a known tech blog I read all the time that will have it blocked. They're not customizable, but they are great. They work on the mobile data. The caveat, they do not work on Wi-Fi. So when they're at home, you need to have something else to protect them, and I'll show you something in just a minute. Yes, sir, question.
We were talking earlier about different browser apps that you can download. If you have browser A, browser B, and then the widget browser, this one's disabled, but these two are running. Will that cover anything that comes to any browser to your device?
Yes. The cellular is the data, so it's done at the carrier. It's not done on the device. So if it goes to your mobile data, it goes to the carrier, and then out to the internet, and they're enforcing it at that point. Yes.
But do you have to do it for each individual device, or can it be over the whole plan?
They usually let you turn it on the whole plan. It's per line. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, please. Yes, your personal hotspots through your data plan, so that would be covered. Yes.
Does it include apps?
Yes, it includes apps, but it depends on the app, right? I don't know about each one of them. I'm sure that your mileage will vary. But yes, it is, technically that data is flowing through their filter.
Now, I just thought of something, and there's always a possibility with the AT&T issue that your kids know your birthday and your mother's maiden name, right? And every month somehow it resets.
Be careful of that.
That's always possible.
Is there a question over here? Yeah. The second part of the bottom?
Oh, the cons. The second of the cons. It's a wide blanket.
Often erroneous blocking. Okay, we'll move on. I want to cover a couple more real quick. Downloadable software.
Yeah.
Just real fast.
So these you're either going to be able to get them off the shelf, right? Go into Walmart, ask about filters. Most of those are going to probably be pretty reputable. Or go online, find something with good ratings. If you find one that's on like the 3rd page of Google and you get a bunch of free emoticons with it, don't use that one.
Yeah. The pros of software is it's very good. It's really good because it's basically like somebody over the shoulder watching you, right? You get really fine-grained on your filters. You can actually hide the words on the page and things like that. The cons really are that, like we mentioned, there's so many devices in your home. How do you install software on a smart TV or on a Nintendo DS, for example? I talked to a woman last week, and both of her sons are addicted to pornography, and both of them were first exposed when they were 10 and 11, and it was on a Nintendo DS in their room. A Nintendo DS, for those that don't know, is a handheld gaming device. Okay, seems innocent enough. She's like, we're both very techie, and we had no idea that thing had a web browser. OpenDNS, guys, this is one of my favorites, so I want to point it out. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. These guys are cool. They really are a gold standard. So OpenDNS, you want to look for Family Shield, okay? Family Shield, that's the key word. This is a little bit more technical than we can dive into today, though, because you got to go and you got to enter their DNS IP addresses right there into your devices, but you can put them on your phones, tablets, computers, everything. Family Shield is set up to automatically already block pornography. It's great.
Call your nephew with the IT degree.
Yeah, it's easy to use.
What is it?
It's a DNS service, and I would love to explain it, but we're just short on time.
Super strong filtering.
Yeah. Here's the pros. Yeah, you have to go into your network settings and enter it in there. There's instructions on their website. It is free. It's easy to use. It's compatible with nearly every web-enabled device. They're well established. They've been around for a while. The downsides are that it's easy to remove. Unless, listen to this carefully, I can't teach you right now, but if you put it on your router and set your router's password, then they can't change it, all right? But it is a wide blanket. It's not customizable. It'll block things that you're like, whoa, I shouldn't block that, but you can't fix it. Yeah. It does not work on Google Fiber. Thank you. It does not work on Google Fiber. So that's about it for what we have today, right, Russ?
Well, I got it.
Just kidding. We got a shameless.
I added some slides, you guys. I've got to do this. So.
This will be our only shameless plug of the night, I promise. Yes, please, you can leave. It's good.
So, real quick, and this comes down to part of the why we do what we do. Why do we know about, the whole last 45 minutes worth of stuff? Is because we're looking to create something to add value, to be simple to operate, and to really help. A good buddy of mine calls me a few weeks ago. He said, Russ, I keep talking about, buying router limits, but
you have about 20 seconds, by the way.
20 seconds, okay. He woke up in the middle of the night. He walked down the hall. He wasn't sure why he woke up. He walked down the hall, and his 10-year-old daughter, good girl, was holding a tablet at 3 a.m., glowing screen, right? Didn't know what's going on. Hey, most of you guys have probably had conversations like this. Give me the device. Okay, go to bed. And I said, don't get back up. Okay. He went back to bed. He could not get back to sleep. He picked up the device. He looked at it. There was a 4-month-old Facebook account for the 10-year-old. That was for a 20-year-old college girl, been having very adult conversations. And a Google search history that would make your skin crawl, right? She got her whole sex education from Google, from some college kid that thought he was, you know, having an online relationship. It's led to all kinds of just issues, therapy and moving, and I mean, she shared their address, just some terrible stuff. So, that's why we do what we do. If you get a chance, highly recommend, stop by, talk to the good people at Router Limits. If you don't get Router Limits today and you don't have something, stop by one of the others and get something today. Don't keep putting it off because it's too much hassle. Get something, it's time. You guys, we can't keep ignoring this. It's time to do these things. You have time to call your cellular provider. You have time to buy something at the store, bring it home, install it. It's worth the hassle. Okay? Thank you guys so much for spending time with us today.